Welcome back. We're actually not doing a proverb every day, but we're going to do a proverb today. My name is DJ. If we haven't met, and yeah, I've been taking a break, and so this is our first time back. So forgive me for any kind of weirdness that's going on, any kind of glitches that we have. I at least have signal. That's the main thing that I wanted to make sure I had today. And I'm going to do this here and make sure I'm like, okay, there we go. Yikes. All right. Sorry, guys, I'm glitching out over here. Let's try this one more time. Oh no. There we go. Yeah, every time. Every time. All right, so let's get started today. Yeah, been a long time, so I am not surprised at all that we don't actually have anybody currently live that I can see. If you are live here, drop me a message in the chat just so I know that you are. But let's get started. So, y'all, something amazing happened this Sunday. Our Well, actually, a lot of things happened amazing this Sunday. Maybe if I can remember, I will put a link to the replay of our church's live stream. My wife and I actually had an opportunity to come out and some things that are happening, and yeah, try to remember to share that. But in a nutshell, God's been good at doing some great things in our life, and we are very thankful for that. And so I think the time has come to start doing this again. And what was amusing about this is my wife, who always hated this word, started off the entire talking to our entire congregation with one word: y'all. Now, we live in Nashville. It may very well be required, right along with having the guitars on the wall that we have, y'all as a statement we say. It might be required. I don't know. I haven't read the charter in a while, so I think I'm probably good on both fronts. But uh, said it multiple times, and I was very surprised that she did. The cool thing about this is I think our pastor noticed as well, and he mentioned that there is a y'all translation of the Bible. It's like a very interesting. And so I thought that was kind of gimmicky at first until I kind of started thinking about it. I was like, there's a few of us nerdy folks out there that are very much like into Bible translations and all of that kind of thing that have noted a challenge when it comes to translating to English and a couple other Latin-based languages, and that is that there's a couple of phrases that don't work. Like when you translate you, sometimes that is singular you. Sometimes you is y'all. And it turns out that y'all actually is a good way to actually say this. You could expand it to say you all, but that doesn't work. It doesn't flow correctly. And so this translation did two things. One, they actually do identify when it is a direction to many and when it is a direction to a singular. And they actually call that out. And yeah, so what we're gonna do for this month and maybe even beyond, I'm so tempted to just make an entire YouTube channel just dedicated to the y'all translation, just because I'm having so much joy out of this. So yeah, it is basically based on a few translations, and kind of made available digitally. You can go to yallbible.com and there it is. In fact, let's go ahead and show you yallbible.com here. Do-do-do. And we're gonna go. Sorry. Yes. We'll switch these here. I was hoping for a better layout. Again, it's been a while, so my all of my uh tips and trick or my the ways to do this are not working today. So it is what it is. But yes, indeed. Here's huh. Okay. Well, we might have to just work with this. I'm actually not finding where I would normally have this. Okay, there we go. Eh, yeah, okay. Well, my apologies for not being enough prepared. Might just go back and forth. I was hoping to have my face overlaid here a bit, but apparently that's not the way this is going to work. Um, and and then that happens. I am sorry, y'all. All right. All right. So what we're gonna do is just get through this, and I will work on these unexpected tech challenges down the road here, and then we'll just make it happen here. So this is Proverbs 4 in the YALL translation, and and then we're gonna read a parable. Um, I wanted to team these up, but I'll be completely transparent and say that, the list that I thought I had, I have lost, and so I know not where that would be. I will find it eventually and make this a lot more organized, I promise, but, that's why I wanna do this live just to get the, kinks out and, kinda do it that way. So, anyway, this is the y'all translation of the Bible. Let's zoom this in a little bit here. There we go. Nice. And there we go. Get wisdom, avoid evil. Y'all children, listen to a father's instruction. Pay attention and know understanding. For I give y'all sound learning. Y'all must not forsake my law. For I was a son to my father, tender and an only child in the sight of my mother. He taught me and said to me, let your heart retain my words, keep my commandments and live. Get wisdom, get understanding. Don't forget and don't deviate from the words of my mouth. Don't forsake her, and she will preserve you. Love her, and she will keep you. Wisdom is supreme. Get wisdom. Yes, though it cost all your possessions, get understanding. Esteem her, and she will exalt you. She will bring you to honor when you embrace her. She will give your head a garland of grace. She will deliver a crown of splendor to you. So, just to geek out for just a moment here, we're seeing the differences of the two here. Oh my goodness. And and then that happens. Okay. You know what? We're just gonna run with it. Wait a minute. Is that gonna work? No. How disappointing. What if we do this? Yay! My face. You see my face. I know. Very weird, but we run with it. All right. So you see that you have things like you here. Now, in other translations, this might say just listen, children, or things like that. But for things like this would be I give you sound learning because there's no other way to say it, right? But they're not talking to an individual here; they're talking to many, and that is a key. Um, and so I know that gets a little weird, like y'all must not forsake my law. It sounds a little bit weird. This is based on a couple of like translations, like I said, like the ASV and whatnot. So that we've got some quasi traditional language here. It's not a country bumpkin translation. Actually, y'all is not a like a southern US exclusive thing. Not at all. Not in the slightest. Actually, it's more English. And so but now you know why. And so but let's continue because I this is actually Proverbs 4, as you know, is one of my favorites. because we're talking about investing in wisdom and buying this and actually making a sacrifice to get it. And it's one of my favorites. So here's two paths before the young. Listen, my child, and receive my sayings. So now we're to a single. No, we're not to y'all. We're to a single child, which is a very interesting distinction translation wise. Um, I have taught you in the ways of wisdom. I have led you in the straight paths. When you go, your steps will not be hampered. When you run, you will not stumble. Take firm hold of instruction. Don't let her go. Keep her, for she is your life. Don't enter into the path of the wicked. Don't walk in the way of evil men. Avoid it and don't pass it by it. Turn from it and pass on. For they don't sleep unless they do evil. Their sleep is taken away unless they make someone fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. But the path of the righteous is like the dawning light that shines more and more until the perfect day. The way of the wicked is like darkness. They don't know what they stumble over. My son, attend to my words. So again, we're singular here. Turn your ear to my sayings. Let them not depart from your eyes. Keep them in the center of your heart. Emphasizing. For they are life to those who find them, and health to their whole body. Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it is the wellspring of life. Put away from yourself a perverse mouth. Put corrupt lips far from you. Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Make the path of your feet level. Let all your ways be established. Don't turn to the right nor to the left. Remove your foot from evil. So, into the reading, y'all. Oh my goodness. So yeah, so what we're gonna do here is try something new. I mean, traditionally I've done Proverbs every day, done those broadcasts. Um, what I'm gonna start doing is branching out a bit. And I wanted to um kind of bring more into this as far as the what am I trying to say here? The additional um, things we can be reading, if it makes sense. So, what I want to do is read to you one of my favorite passages, and I'm going to try not to crack up doing it. So, this is the parable of the talents, and and this would be in Matthew 25, starting in verse 14. And now the interesting, it's like responsibility was given. We may not have any y'all distinctions in this, but we're going to find out. Um, For it is like a man going on a journey, who called his servants and trusted his possessions to them. To one he gave 5 talents, another two, another one, each according to their own ability. Then he went on his journey. The man who received the 5 talents immediately went and traded with others, gained another 5 talents. In the same way, the one with 2 talents gained another two. But the one who received the 1 talent went and dug a hole in the ground and hid his master's money. Now, after a long time, the master of those 2 servants returned and settled accounts with them. The one who received 5 talents brought another 5 talents, saying, Master, you entrusted me with 5 talents. Look, I have gained 5 more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You've been a faithful over a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Enter into the joy of your master. The one with the 2 talents came and said, Master, you entrusted me with 2 talents. Look, I've gained 2 more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Enter into the joy of your master. The one who had received 1 talent came and said, Master, I knew that you were a hard man, reaping where you didn't sow and gathering where you didn't scatter. I was afraid, so I went away and hid your talent in the ground. Look, you have what is yours. But his master answered him, You wicked, lazy servant. So you knew that I reap where I didn't sow and gather where I didn't scatter? then you ought to have deposited my money with the bankers, and on my return, I would have received it back with interest. Therefore, y'all take the talent away from him and give it to the one who has the 10 talents. For everyone, for to have every, for to everyone who has will be given more, and they will have abundance. But whoever doesn't have, even that will be taken away from them. Y'all throw the worthless servant into the outer darkness, where there'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth. I've been reading this proverb a lot over the last, I would say, 8 years. It's been one that's been on my mind constantly. And there's a couple of reasons why. One, it's a hard one to read because of that, the way that you would think it's fair, right? That the master, gets what's his back, right? It's a fair trade kind of thing. But that's not what we're told. I want to put this in context. This was not my intention, but I am actually amazed at how God continues to work with things like this. And I want you to see this, that when we were talking in Proverbs 4 about not only getting wisdom, but avoiding wickedness, what do we see here? We see here that there were some people that knew how to invest in wisdom, that they knew how to let that be something that guided them. And then there's one that was obviously wicked and thought they knew best. They just were like, you know what? I am so fearful that this wealthy person that has no business, ordering anybody around. He goes off and has fun gambling, whatever he's doing, you know, partying it up on vacation for just a random bit of time. And I don't know when he's coming back, and he's going to expect something back from me. What if I lose it? What if the economy turns bad? What if interest rates go weird? I don't know what you know what? I'm just gonna bury this in the ground, and that way, when this person who can oppress me and will oppress me comes back, at least I'll just have that for him. And, that way there's no loss, and there's no way he can call me anything but faithful because I've made sure that his money didn't go anywhere. I buried it somewhere nobody but me knows, and you know what? It'll be fine. It'll be absolutely fine, and nobody's gonna be able to do anything to take that away, and I'll be safe. Does that sound familiar? Does does that sound like processes that go through your head sometimes? My friend, that is the enemy speaking to you, trying to convince you of something that is not true. The reality is you've been given special talents that God basically created you with. They are unique to you. That's something I want you to see here. Let's go back. So the one with 5 talents brought another 5 talents. First off, obviously they knew what they were doing to double 5 talents, right? They had some knowledge of how that all works. Um, so the thing to note here is that they might have had more than 5. They might have an additional abundance that they were like, "You know what? The expectation is to double the money, so I just gave him double." They might have more. I don't know. It's one of those little mysteries about this that doesn't seem important because you know what? It's probably not important to our master. That there is abundance there, and so, but this is what he was entrusted with: is those 5 talents. And look, I gained 5 more. Now the person with 2 talents did the same thing, right? There's 2 more. Now, did they have a total of like 6 and only gave him, 4? We don't know. It's possible. But to the master, He didn't have to earn that. That was an investment he made. He invested in wise servants, and he knew it. He knew that he invested in wise servants because we're told that they're given each according to their own. I'm sorry, in verse 15, each according to their own ability. So the master knew exactly what each person was capable of. He knew that the person with 5 talents was probably that kind of leader that would be able to not only manage things well and be a good steward, not only of the resources, but of the people that would be required to turn 5 so a talent is, we think, the equivalent of many years of wages, basically. It's not a small amount of money that would this would have been just entrusted with them, which is probably why the person with 1 talent freaked out and had no ability with that. Heck of a way to test that, but, to this master, they were okay with it. Um, because God is the same way. He entrusts us with these things. But I want you to see something else. And this is what struck me a couple of years ago, is that there are 3 servants. Now, why are there 3 servants? I don't know precisely why. It's one of the things that I'll continue to ruminate on. But we see that one does the 5, and then the other one that gets the 2 talents goes and trades with it also. It does the same thing. In other words, it's almost like he watches the person with 5 doing things and then does that. It's like a leadership kind of a thing where they're like, "Oh, yeah, okay, so that's the way this is done. Okay, cool. I'll do that." And that's the way many of us are with our talents, where we're just getting started, and we are investing by watching others and learning from others. And you know what? That's okay. In fact, that's good. That's what we're modeled here. And so we need to see that. But the reward is what I want you to see here. This is really cool. So both servants hear the same exact thing. Well done, good and faithful servant. Well done, good and faithful servant. Y'all, that's really cool. But here's something I just noticed today. And that is, and I had not thought about this. I'd always thought of this as being the master like instructing other people that were around to to throw out the 1 talent servant. But I realized today, no, he's having a conversation with 3 people, and he tells the other 2 to throw the 1 out. That's hard to hear. It's hard enough to hear that, that there is a punishment and an abandonment if all you do is bury the talents you have in the ground and not do anything with them. We are not just inspired to do this. We are instructed. We are instructed to do this. So my passion and my purpose continues to be to leave the world better than I found it and inspire others to do the same. That's been my mission for, in name, like those exact words, for going on 12 years, 13 years now. Yeah, 12 years. And honestly, that's what this is to me, is that, we need to be people that use what we have to not only further the kingdom and tell people just that there's not only just hope, but there's an abundance here. It is not just an eternal life that's worth having. It's actually a life worth living. Yeah, there's challenges. Yeah, there's tough. I guarantee you, there's probably a moment where the 5 talent servant had some people working for him that did something wrong, and he probably lost some money along the way, and he didn't know when the master was coming back. Actually, in Matthew 25, that's the theme of the whole thing, is that you don't know when the master's coming back. Would that be a freak out with him? Would he have been awake all the time thinking about, "Oh my goodness, I've lost control of this situation. What am I gonna do? How am I gonna handle this? how am I going to recover from this? What if the master comes back and I don't even have the 5 talents anymore? I have like 3. What's gonna happen to me? I will these are the kind of things, and that's why I can kinda see an entrepreneurial kind of a thing with that, and that's why I think that there's a weight to that. In the Passion Translation, the way that Brian translated that, or his team did, I suppose I shouldn't say Brian specifically, one person, his team translated this. He actually here, I have it right here. Actually, oh, wow. Um, you have the likewise part of it. Um, and then the 5 talent person is saying, say I made a profit and gained 5 more. And then do the faithful over a little. Uh, I've lost my place. I am sorry. That's because I'm in the amplified. Okay, I'm in the wrong side of this. This side here is the Passion Translation. I'm sorry. I was cross-referencing in my studies, and I forgot. So it was 22 here. Yes, you've proven yourself to be my loyal and trustworthy servant because you were faithful to manage. Yeah, and then sorry, so that was the one for two as trustworthy servant. But check out what happens with the 5 here. Oh my goodness. Because you've been a faithful steward to manage a small sum. Being a little ironic there, I like that. I'll now put you in charge of much, much more. So there's a difference in um, how that's told. So the 2 says, "Because you're faithful to manage a small sum," and the other says, "Faithful steward to manage a small sum." It's one of those little distinctions that I don't know how much that means. I'm sitting here talking about it, and it's not on the screen. I apologize. Brilliant. Y Yeah, I'm rusty, but it's okay. So, um so we can see that distinction there, and it tells me that there's some nuances of the amount of risk and challenge that the master knew that that servant can handle. And what I'm saying to you is that God knows exactly what you can handle and what you can't handle, and He has created you with the appropriate talents to be able to handle that. And we can invest in our talents. Please hear me on this. We can invest in our talents the same way we invest in wisdom. We must invest in our talents, though. Um, in future weeks, I'll have I'll link up. I'm actually starting a community, and it's going to be off of Facebook. None of that drama. I don't want to have yet another Facebook group. I want this to be private. I want this to be just for you, so that we can work together in investing in those talents. Um, I'm going to be calling it most likely be calling it 11 talents. That's my company venture is based on this parable, because I want to see people investing in their talents, no matter what they are, and realizing that there is no um, difference as far as the master's concerned with where you're at with these. You can be just starting out and have that 2 talent kind of a thing going on, where maybe you're just working a job and you have maybe some things in that job that you can kind of make yourself better at and invest in yourself that way, and watch how your talents amplify that investment in yourself. Those are the kind of things you can do, and that's what I've done in my life. That's what I encourage you to do, is bloom where you're planted kind of thing, where you're actually able to get into this in a powerful way and make your vocational life better, yes. But when you're actually leaning in and using the talents that God has created you with, instead of just either burying those talents and just saying, "You know what? I'm just here to do a job. and I'm gonna do that job. And that's all there is to it. I can't challenge myself with more. That's not really, appropriate for me. I just need to, do my work and make that okay. And that's good enough for me. And, you know, that sort of thing. So I don't want to see that in you. I don't want to see anybody with that. Now maybe you're one of those people that are very much in that place of wanting to expand and mentor and things like that. And that's where, you know, feel free to reach out. Um, if you want, I'll try and remember when I kind of repost this. I'll put a link in the description to be able to contact me about that. I do I hesitate to even say this, but I do offer coaching services for people. It's not for everybody. It's not for those that want to get started out. It's not that. It's more for people that are ready to invest in themselves at a different level and really jump into a higher way of leaning into your talents and getting into more of those passion areas. Um, and really, yeah, investing more fully that way. And so that is something that is available. I'll like I said, I'll make that a link down below, kind of thing, or description, kind of thing. I don't know if I can do that after the fact on Facebook or not, but on YouTube, yeah, it's easy enough to do. So I'll make that happen. But anyway, that's kind of what I have for you today. Make sure you invest in yourself and making the talents that God has given you shine just that much more. So y'all, we'll see you next time. For the time being, Tuesdays and Thursdays are kind of the cadence here. I'm just kind of ramping back up into this slowly. I've got a lot of other things going on, so I don't want to overwhelm myself and make it so that this is a burden. I want to be joyful about this, and so that's why I'm doing this way. And I realize it's going to be difficult to get people on a live cadence with this, but we're just going to make it happen. And hoping for some other things coming down the road as well. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So in any case, be blessed by the best, and then go be a blessing to all the rest. Love you guys.